Hello everyone, I'm Chef Leroy and this is Cooking on the Balcony. It's a lovely day here in Minneapolis and we are on our balcony, and as I said before in our last show, we're going to try to cook on our balcony when we can, weather permitting. It does get pretty cold here in Minnesota. So today I would like to talk about the panini. The panini sandwich actually derives from an Italian sandwich called the panino. Panino was actually originated in Italy, and when that was developed, it used to come on ciabatta, I'm sorry, I'm using some notes here, rosetta, and a baguette type bread, or as some people have seen it as French bread. Typically, the sandwich was either served at room temperature or it was also served warmed up. Later on, some years later, somehow it developed the name from the U.S., from the U.K., and the Canadians as a panini. And that's kind of where the panini got its start. The only difference with that sandwich is actually done on two pieces of like bread or toast, as it is. So panini actually means toasted or warm type bread, and it's usually two slices of bread. And I can give you an example. I've got a plate here, which would show what the actual bread would look like. And that's what they look like. So we have, this is basically a baguette style, and this is a French style. These are both like French and baguette. Baguettes are usually a little bit of a firmer type of bread. So these are the different types of sandwiches that we have. We're going to put these on the panini grill and show you. Today I want to show you also the panini grill. This is our grill. Now again, I mentioned yesterday in my video that I was not going to specifically endorse one type of brand of equipment versus another type of brand. This is a Breville. I like the quality of this particular panini grill. I also like the fact that I'm able to adjust it by there's an adjustment here for panini, which it says, and then sear, which can get quite a bit hotter. I also have a height adjustment, so I can adjust it for the height of the bread, and that's kind of important when you're actually using this. The other thing that we have here that comes with the panini grill is a little scraper to scrape off the top of the grill, so you can scrape it down forward. The other item that's really nice to have is one of these panini brushes. This is actually good up to 600 degrees, so you can just brush it right off with a brush. Okay. Now typically what I've been doing when I do any paninis out here, I haven't really been using any kind of oil on my bread. Now these breads are big, right? So these are kind of heavy breads that we're going to use. One is actually fatter than the other one. So what I'll do is I'll put the bigger one toward the bottom and the littler one toward the top. I'll do it this way. Actually, I'll switch it. We're going to go like this. We're going to adjust our grill all the way up to high. So when it sits on the bread, you can actually see it squish down. Probably come in just a little bit more like that. Now, this actual panini grill does not have a timer on it, so it's really important to have a timer. And one thing I always do when I work in the kitchen is I always keep notes. I'll write down my actual time and how long it took to actually cook these sandwiches. I don't know how long it's going to take, not to mention we're actually outside and it's only about 46 degrees outside. So that's a panini. Again, in the U.S., a panini comprises, usually you'll see most paninis, you see them on regular bread. And it'll have a variety of different ingredients inside. I've seen them with basil, chicken, mozzarella, like a caprese type sandwich, and I've also seen it other different kinds of ways. So the other thing that I'd like to talk today about is our induction cooking. This is an induction burner right here. This actually works on a magnetic type of force to heat the pan. So it works on more of a molecular like structure. It's actually very interesting, and actually how hot it gets. I just did earlier I did an experiment with our stove inside the apartment. Now we don't live in a nice fancy house. We live in an apartment. And in most apartments, you don't have gas stoves. You have electric. Our electric stove that we have in this building is actually fairly old. It's pretty old, actually. Now, what I did an experiment already. I had 1 quart of water, cold water, in this pot on our electric stove. I put it on the stove. I turned it all the way up to high. It took 5 minutes to get to a boil, okay? And it's still, actually the top of the burner is still too hot to even put our hands on it still. It's still extremely hot. So it took at least probably more than 20 minutes for the burner to kind of start to cool down. That's a lot different with these type of stoves. Let's check our panini, see how they look. Oh my goodness, that looks so good. Now again, we are really in the experimental mode on using a panini grill. So what I would probably do, because it's grilling and you can see that it's getting nice and warmed up inside, what I would probably do is I'd actually probably turn up the temperature a little bit on this. So that's what's nice about having this dial like this. And the other thing about it too is we're not really using a timer, we're kind of guessing. So at this point I have to, because of power situation, I'm going to turn off our panini and I'm going to show you how the induction works. Okay? This is just awesome technology. So we turn it on. Now this one actually has a adjustment to adjust your wattage. So I'm going to just kick it all the way up to 800. Okay? And let's check our temp. I'm going to kick it. That's at 212. So I'm going to leave it at 212. I don't know exactly how high the thermostat gets for our stove on the inside of the kitchen, but 212 is boiling. So we're going to see how quick it takes to get up to a boil. I'm sure it's going to be very quick. It works extremely fast. It just basically, the coils, it's copper coils inside, and it heats up that pan. Now the trick to this though is that you have to have a pan that is magnetic. If a magnet does not stick to the bottom of your pan, it will not work on these type of stoves. I've seen these stoves sell for various prices. I've seen them run anywhere from $50 all the way up to $700–800, and then they have literally cook stove tops that you can get for your house and have them installed. This is a portable unit. This is actually more of a professional unit, but you can get really nice small ones. I actually saw one recently at a store in town, and it was a nice flat one, and very, very lightweight. And I've had talked to the store people there, and they've used it several times, and they really think it's a really good brand. It's a Fagor, I guess that's the name of it. So let's check our paninis again. I know I have it off, but it's really nice and toasted on top. You can just feel it. You can see how crunchy it is. See, the bread crunches just like that. It's beautiful. Now this is 2 different sandwiches from 2 different places. I won't exactly tell you where I got them from, but I didn't make them myself. I actually bought them at a couple different locations. So I just wanted to try it, see how it worked with a couple different kinds of breads. So we're still coming up on this. It's still getting close to, as you can see, it's starting to already heat up. And again, temperature outside is cool, so it might that might cause some issues with the pan to heat up quick. But you can tell it's already getting hot. And the nice thing about it is, on our electric stove, you would not be able to literally touch the pan like this. I can touch the handle. I can touch this handle. I can touch this top right here. It's not hot at all. I can actually lift this pan up and touch here with my hand. I couldn't do that on a regular electric stove. So we'll kick that all the way up. I think I'll kick up the temperature too, because I know that the stove top is on high, so we're gonna kick it up a little bit. Now all the different induction that are out there, they all have different features. I think that what you want to look for is you want to look for one that's at least 1800 watts. You also want to look for one that has adjustable temperatures also, like this one does here. It's very important to have highest wattage when you're working with stuff, especially if you're trying to boil water for pasta. You want that temperature to get up quick again once you add your pasta. You want your water to boil rapidly. So this is kind of a couple things that we wanted to show you today. I'm pretty excited about our little program. I think that we will have a lot of fun little things that we can do. And we will love suggestions as well. If anybody has suggestions on the web, to let us know. And what else do we want to talk about today? Margot?
I don't know.
As you can see,
Is
the
it
water,
heating up?
it's almost boiling now. And I'm telling you that once this comes up to a boil, I can literally take this off and I can touch the top of the stove. And that's something you cannot do with an electric stove in the house. So one thing that's really nice, it's number one, it's very efficient. You'll find that you'd save a lot of energy if you had this one. And it's coming up to a boil, as you can see. Now I started out with cold water in this, and I also did the same test in the same exact pan. So, as you can see, it's already starting to come up. But again, we're outside. Inside, it was inside the house, and it was different. So, but it's really kind of fun. We're watching our water boil. Is everybody having fun? Margarita, are you laughing? No laughing on camera. No laughing. So there we go. It's starting to come up. She's smiling. She's so funny.
Well, it's coming up to a boil.
Yeah, that's
Can
good.
I stop showing it?
So we'll just go off this, and what I wanted to show again is that I can take it off here like this. And literally take it off the stove. And as you can hear it beeping, what it's doing is it's saying that there's nothing there to conduct heat, so you can literally touch it like this. You can put my hand right on top of it. It's
Whoa,
it's
that's
hot,
cold.
but it's not anything like it.
Oh, it's so warm.
So
I
we'll
love
show
it.
off. That's it.
I
So
love it.
that concludes this part of our show. Now we get to try our paninis, which we're really excited about. So we're going to try our panini sandwiches, and yes, we did not do them like a traditional panini, like we see them a lot of times at our different stores like Panera and some of these other places. So that is all for today. Thank you for watching our show, Cooking on the Balcony. Supposed to stop it.